In the world of programming, we often encounter situations where we need to store multiple values efficiently. This is where arrays come into play, particularly single-dimensional arrays. A single-dimensional array is a collection of elements, all of the same type, that can be accessed using a single index. This lesson will guide you through the fundamental concepts of single-dimensional arrays in Java, providing you with the tools to store and manipulate multiple values with ease. Don't worry if this feels new at first. This section covers what's a single-dimensional array. A single-dimensional array is a linear data structure that holds a fixed number of elements of the same data type. You can think of it as a list of items, where each item can be accessed using its index. The index of an array starts at 0, meaning the first element is at index 0, the second at index 1, and so on. Now, declaring and initializing arrays. To use arrays in Java, you must first declare and initialize them. The syntax for declaring an array is as follows. I'll let you read the examples on screen rather than reading every line aloud. Here, data type represents the type of elements the array will hold, such as int, string, etc., and array name is the name you choose for the array. Once declared, you can initialize the array in several ways. First, using the new keyword. Next, using an array initializer. This section covers accessing and modifying array elements. After declaring and initializing an array, you can access and modify its elements using their respective indices. For example, the samples on screen walk through this step. Take a moment to read through them. In this snippet, we first access the first element of the array numbers and store it in the variable first number. Then, we change the value of the second element from 20 to 25. Now, iterating over an array. One of the most common operations with arrays is iterating through their elements. You can use a for loop or an enhanced for loop, also known as a for each loop, to do this. Here's an example using both methods. I'll let you read the examples on screen rather than reading every line aloud. In this example, both loops will print each number in the numbers array to the console. The traditional for loop uses the length property of the array to determine how many times to iterate, while the enhanced for loop simplifies the syntax. This section covers example, calculating the average of an array. Let's put our knowledge into practice with a complete example. We will create a program that calculates the average of a set of numbers stored in an array. Review the class shown on screen and how its members are organized. In this program, we declare an array of double values named scores. We then iterate through the array to compute the total score and finally calculate the average by dividing the total by the number of elements in the array. The result is printed to the console. In this lesson, we have covered the basics of single-dimensional arrays in Java. You learned how to declare, initialize, access, modify, and iterate over arrays. We also went through a practical example of calculating an average from an array of numbers, which showcased the use of arrays in real-world scenarios. Now put what you've learned into practice. First, create an array of your favorite books and print each book's title using a loop. Next, modify one of the book titles in your array and print the updated list. Also, calculate the total number of characters in all book titles combined.